Welcome everybody to the 10th chapter in the Bhagavad Gita study series. This chapter is titled Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means glories, divine manifestation. In the Yoga Sutras also, the third chapter is called um, Vibhuti Yoga. So it is the glories of yoga. So here it is the yoga of the glories of divine manifestation. Vibhutis, Bhagavan's glories. And as usual, we would like to acknowledge Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati for the traditional rendering of Vedanta as it was done for over 1,000 years, starting with Adi Shankaracharya. We'll say a small prayer. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Sada Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay. So we are in the Madhyama Shatkam. So the Madhyama Shatkam talks about Ishvara. The Prathama Shatkam, or the first 6 chapters, talk about Atma, or the Dehi. The Dehi is the subtle body, and what powers the Dehi is the Atma, or the consciousness within. Consciousness is one. It's like space. Everywhere it's there, but in the context of the body, we call it the Atma. In the context of the universe, we call it Brahman, but it's just one consciousness. And in the 10th chapter, Bhagavan introduces Arjuna to Vishwarupa, the Bhakti. So the Vishwarupa Ishvara, the cosmic form of Ishvara. So there are different forms of Ishvaras for various levels of bhaktas, the devotees. So Ekarupa Ishvara, or Ekarupa Ishvara means in one form. So Shiva, I mean, they may worship many Ekarupa Ishvaras, Shiva, Vishnu, or it can become Aneka Rupa, same Vishnu, Krishna, all that, Narasimha, so like that. But still, it is Ekarupa. At one point, you just worship one form. It is Ekarupa Ishvara for the Manda Bhakta, or the beginner student. Manda means dull, but it's not like Bhagavan is deriding. It's just that it's a beginner student, not very advanced. Then Vishwarupa Ishvara, cosmic form for Madhyama Bhakta, or the intermediate student. And this is the content of this chapter. So, where Bhagavan manifests himself as the universe. So, remember the spider example? So to do anything, to construct a desk, we need two items. You need a intelligent cause and you need a material cause. Who's the intelligent cause? Intelligent cause is the carpenter, and the material cause is the wood. So you need both of them. But in the case of the universe, Bhagavan himself is both the material and the instrumental or intelligent cause. So Ishvara is defined as consciousness, which is Brahman, and Maya. Maya is the inert, it doesn't have any intelligence. It is the inert matter or energy, you can call it. It's neither energy nor matter, but it manifests as energy and matter during creation. That is Maya. So, in the Vishwarupa Ishvara, Bhagavan, he manifests himself as the universe, he or it or whatever. So this is for the intermediate student, Vishwarupa Ishvara, cosmic form. This is entire chapter is about it. So Bhagavan, like a spider. Remember, we saw the example of the spider. So in the Upanishads, it comes. Spider produces its own silk. It also weaves the web. So it's a Bhagavan is considered like it's Ishvara is like a spider. It produces the Maya, which is the matter, and it also weaves the web. So Bhagavan is equated to a spider. Excuse me. Then for the advanced student, Arupa or Nirguna Brahman. So Ekarupa, Vishwarupa Darshanam for the intermediate student, Ekarupas for the Manda Bhakta, and then Arupa, Nirguna Brahman for the Uttama Bhakta. And how do you know the Nirguna Brahman? If it doesn't have any form, how can you visualize? By turning inward. In the 6th chapter we saw, the 7th chapter we saw. How can you visualize the Nirguna Brahman? It is by turning inward and looking at the Atma. That Atma, the consciousness, the one that is witnessing the mind, it is the same Brahman. That is why meditation is the key. Okay, so far is it clear? Everything? Any questions? It's very important. These 3 levels of approaching Bhagavan. So in the 12th chapter, Bhagavan summarizes everything in Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti is not a separate form of worship. Bhakti, you have to go through Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. You have to go through elementary school and high school to graduate. No exceptions. Bhakti is like a tuition, so you can go through it without any complication very easily. Otherwise you struggle, you fail. Sometimes people are in the same class 2 times. So with Bhakti, it's like a smooth ride. So that's what Bhakti gives. Bhakti gives an accelerated ride. And Bhakti has both components. It has both uh, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga components. So both will is addressed by Bhakti. So Bhakti is like a fast path through both Karma and Jnana Yoga. So Brahman and Maya, they're considered the father and mother principles for creation of the universe. And we've seen that before. The common features of the 2 Prakritis, they are both Anadi. They're beginningless. And that's where it stops. But Maya has no consciousness. It is constantly changing, whereas Brahman, the consciousness doesn't change at all. We've seen all that previously, and the differences in their nature is we've seen that too in the nature of the. I'll go over that very quickly. One is Chetana Tattvam, another is Achetana Tattvam, consciousness principle, inert principle. Then one is Nirgunam, without attributes, Brahman, and Maya always has attributes, color, form, taste, everything. One is not subject to modification. The Maya is subject to modifications. Matter constantly changes. Big Bang. Nothing in the universe is fixed. Nothing. Only thing that is constant is the consciousness inside you. Okay. Then Satyam. It is truth. It you can say this is Brahman is consciousness. This the properties never change. Whereas Maya is mithya. The matter is mithya. It is seemingly real, but over time changes. You cannot depend on Maya for anything. Okay, so that is the and the common example that is given is that of a spider. We saw that also, and the spider. So Bhagavan is called Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. Nimitta Karanam means intelligent cause. Upadana Karanam means material cause. Bhagavan is both the instrumental and material cause. Urna Nabihi means spider. So Nabihi means the navel, so stomach. So Urna Nabihi means that which produces silk from its navel. So that is the name of a spider. Yatha urnanabi srijate grinnate cha yatha prithvivyam oshayada sambhavanti. So as the spider creates and absorbs, as medicinal plants grow from the earth, as hairs grow from the living person, so the universe proceeds from the immortal. So that is what is quoted in the Mundaka Upanishad. So now we will see about the Vishwarupa Ishvara, the cosmic form. So the topics are Bhagavan gives an introduction to the Ishvara Vibhuti, glories of Ishvara in the first 3 shlokas, then brief explanation of Ishvara Swarupam and Vibhuti. Very briefly, he says in 4 to 7, and then Vishwarupa Bhakta, a description of a devotee who worships Ishvara as the multifarious forms in the universe. And Arjuna requests for the Vibhuti Varnanam, which is the description of the Ishvara's glories. Then Bhagavan says, I cannot tell you all my glories, but I'll tell you a few things here and there. Bhagavan's detailed explanation of Ishvara Vibhuti, 19 through 38. That is the core of this chapter. Lot of stories come from this. He'll say, I am this, Airavatam Gajendranam, and he'll say Chitrarataha of all the, the divine beings and Chitrarata, all that he'll say. Conclusion, and then finally conclusion of the Vibhuti, the glories. Beautiful 4 shlokas, 39 to 42. Okay, so that is what we will study. Any questions here? No? Okay, very beautiful chapter and very interesting because a lot of stories come from this. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Bhuya eva mahabaho Shrunu me paramam vachaha Yatteham priyamanaya Vakshyami hitakamyaya. So look at how Bhagavan is phrasing. So Bhagavan says once again, oh mighty, he says mighty armed, Mahabaho. Baho means arms. So mighty armed Arjuna, Shrunu me paramam vachaha. Paramam vachaha, listen to my supreme word. Shrunu means listen. Yatteham priyamanaya vakshami hitakamyaya. Hitakamyaya means for your welfare, which I shall declare to you who are very dear to me. Yatte aham. Yet what aham, I will vakshami, will declare to you. Declare, he's saying, it's like authoritative. Priyamanaya. So you are very dear to me. Priyam, very dear. Because you're very dear to me, I'm telling you this. So Bhagavan makes Arjuna feel good. So Swamiji will joke. Swamiji will say, he'll have a lot of disciples, but Krishna has only one disciple. So he has to butter him up and make sure that he stays through the course, right? So all these, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, he'll say, you are Purusha Pyagra, you are the tiger among men, you are the best among the Bharata Rishabha, the Rishabha is like bull, you're the bull, the best among the of people in the Bharata dynasty. So for a teacher, Swamiji will say the best thing is to have a good student. So in the Kathopanishad, Yamadharmaraja spends several verses congratulating Nachiketa. Nachiketa's little boy who goes to Yamadharmaraja, and instead of ask about, Yamadharmaraja tempts him, I'll give you, because he has come all the way to uh, Brahmaloka to get knowledge from Yamadharmaraja. Yamadharmaraja gives him 3 boons. Nachiketa plays a trick. In the first boon, he asks 3 things, and he reserves the other 2 boons for asking very intelligent questions. So in the first boon, he makes sure that he returns back to earth because he's in Yamaloka. What will happen? And so in the first boon, he wants his father to get well, and he wants to return safely back to Bhuloka to see his father. So Nachiketa, and then he reserves the other 2 boons to ask important questions. And he asks, what will happen after death? So Yamadharmaraja congratulates. All other people will ask for pleasures, that, this, wealth. You are asking for the ultimate thing. May I have, you are the best student I can aspire for. So like that, and Yamadharmaraja says, may I get more disciples like Nachiketa. Like that, Krishna has a wonderful shishya in Arjuna, and therefore Krishna says, I'm very inspired. I'm going to continue because you're very dear to me, and I'm going to tell all this for your own welfare. And Bhagavan need not say all this, right? Name partasi kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana nana vaptamavaptyam vyam vartayeva cha karpani. I have nothing to accomplish in this universe. 3rd chapter, Bhagavan says, but still, out of compassion for you, I'm going to teach you more. So whether Arjuna wants or not, Bhagavan has made up his mind. But Bhagavan wants to make Arjuna feel good, so he's buttering him up with all these verses. So that's how you have to interpret it. So it's poetry, right? It's very beautiful. It all these emotions, everything is there. Unlike Yoga Sutras is like a scientific document, no emotions. Name vidusura prabhavam na maharshayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarpashah. Neither the hosts of devas, suragana, sura means those who have drunk the nectar of immortality. Asura means those who have not drunk the nectar of immortality. Sura is the nectar. So Gana means hosts. It's like a crowd. So Suragana means the hosts of devas. Name viduhu. They don't. Viduhu means understand. Neither the hosts of the devas, nor the great maharshis, the great rishis, viduhu. What do they don't know? They don't know my prabhavam, my origin. Is it understood? Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshya. Neither the rishis nor the devas know my origin. Aham adihi hi devanam. I am the source of all the devas. As maharshinam cha sarvashaha, of and all the rishis, I am the origin. So in the I'll come to a story in just a minute. So in the um, Kinopanishad, there's a story about how Brahman helps the devas to gain victory. So they pray to Brahman as the consciousness that illumines them. And then because of that, they get knowledge and they attain victory over the asuras. But they become very arrogant. So Ishvara, as Brahman, wants to teach them a lesson. We'll see that story in just a second. But in this verse, what Krishna is pointing out is that, so Arjuna, don't tell me. Arjuna is always trying to escape, right? He wants to go to sannyasa. So Arjuna doesn't want to, he wants to give any excuse possible to run away. So Krishna says, Arjuna, don't tell me you will learn that later from somebody, because no, the same topic you can't learn from other gurus, because nobody else knows my glory in its entirety. I alone can know the glory in its full measure. Nobody else can know, because all others are born later. You have to learn only from the source, and only I know, and therefore you have to learn from me. So you better continue to listen. That's what Bhagavan is hinting here. So in this story, what happens is that it's a very interesting story. There was a fierce fight, right? I said between Devas and Asuras, and the Asuras um, um, were gaining upper hand. So the Devas meditate on Brahman, and so they pray to, I think, to Devi, and Devi says, meditate on Brahman, and they meditate on Brahman, gain knowledge about how to vanquish the Asuras, and they vanquish the Asuras. And then they become arrogant and they start drinking and all that. So um, so Bhagavan wants, Brahman, the consciousness, wants to teach them a lesson. So uh, what happens is that there is Brahma Ishvara takes the form of a yaksha, a celestial being, and appeared before them. And this celestial being, the celestial being appears before them, and Indra, Agni, Vayu, they saw the yaksha and they were captivated by the beauty of the celestial form. It was not very clear, it was just very bright and everything. Then Indra was intrigued by what happened, and he became curious to know who that yaksha was. He asked Agni to go find out. Agni, the fire devata, went in the direction of the yaksha and asked, "Who are you?" The yaksha just smiled, and without bothering to ask Agni, um, so without bothering to answer Agni, the yaksha asks Agni, "Who are you to ask me that question? Who are you?" like jokingly. Then Agni gets very infuriated. I am Agni. I can burn anything in the world. I am so powerful. I can burn anything in the world. And then the Yaksha, ha ha ha, laughed, and the Yaksha throws a blade of uh, um, grass at the Agni and says, "Can you burn this dried piece of grass?" And Agni is first insulted, and then the Yaksha taunts him, "Try, try, try." And then Agni just tries to burn that piece of grass, but it couldn't be burned. Agni uses the full power. Still no. Agni is defeated and goes and reports to Indra. Then Indra sends Vayu, the god of wind god. Vayu is also impressed by the Yaksha, and Vayu asks Yaksha, "Who are you?" Then the Yaksha again asks Vayu, "Hey, who are you to ask me? Who are you to come and ask me that question?" And Vayu, they again, Vayu says, "I am the mighty wind. I can blow anything away." And then um, again, the Yaksha throws a piece of grass. "Can you blow that grass away?" And the Vayu tries, tries, tries. Nothing happens. And then finally, Indra himself comes. And he says, "I am Indra." Indra means the god of the senses, the mind. So Indriyanam, so the sixth sense is considered to be the mind. So Indra is considered the deity for the mind. I am Indra, the king of the senses and the lord of the mind. And then the Yaksha says, "Do you know you cannot never know me?" And the Yaksha became invisible. So at least the previous two, Agni and Vayu, were able to see the Yaksha. Now the Yaksha could not even be seen. But there's some kind of in the feelings, the Yaksha is talking to Indra. He laughs and says, "So you can't even, you are saying you are the Lord of all senses, but you cannot even sense me." And then Indra is a little more smart. So he goes and he prays to Devi. And then um, Devi tells him, "Now you have to meditate on Brahman." So um, then Indra meditates on Brahman, and finally the wisdom is dawned, because the whole problem is they think they are supreme, but what they don't know is what is illuminating them is that same Brahman. So um, there are but finally, Brahman reveals the true nature as that which provides the consciousness. Because they were making themselves finite, they thought, "Okay, I am this entity, I am all powerful." But if they had associated with that Brahman, that consciousness which is powering them, they would have been able to see, because then there will be no distinction between them and this Yaksha which is facing them. That means if there's no distinction, there is no ego. I am better than you. That is not there. So this is a lesson which is taught in the Kino Upanishad, how the Devas themselves got arrogant and Brahman teaches the lesson. Okay, so that is the story of the Yaksha. Yo mam ajamanadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asammudasamatyeshu sarva papai pramuchyate. So with the third verse, the introduction is over. So Bhagavan here in the third verse, he says, "One who knows me as unborn and beginningless, as the Lord of the worlds, that person among the mortals is undiluted and freed from all sins." So the introductory part is over, and the introduction, Lord Krishna pointed out that the subject matter is Ishvara Swarupam, or Ishvara Vibhuti, the glory of Bhagavan. So that's what will come in the rest of the chapter. So first part, Bhagavan is saying, he's giving the ground for what he's going to discuss, Ishvara Vibhuti, and then now he's going to give a brief explanation of the Ishvara Swarupam and Vibhuti in 4 through 7. So in these 4 shlokas, he's going to give that. So 4 and 5 are combined. Buddhir Shama Satyam Dama Shamaha Sukham Dukkham Bhavo Bhavaha Bhayam Cha Bhayam Eva Cha Ahimsa Samata Tushtihi Tapodanam Yasho Yashaha Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam Mattayeva Prutak Vidaha. Now, Krishna presents the subject matter briefly, right? From 4 through, um, actually, from um, 4 through 11, he's going to talk, but 4 through 7 is a brief introduction. And then 4 through 11, he talks about the Bhakta, the Vishwarupa Bhakta, one who worships the God in the form of the universe. So, both he's going to cover. And then Arjuna will ask for elaboration and Krishna will elaborate. So in this portion, Krishna is pointing out that God alone has manifested in the form of the entire universe, because God is a mixture of consciousness plus matter. Entire universe has only two things: consciousness, matter. For the sake of convenience, the world is divided into two. One is called Bahya Prapanchaha, which is the external world of object. Another is Antara Prapanchaha, the internal world of thoughts. Okay. First, the Antara Prapanchaha is enumerated. Internal world of thoughts. So you can see Buddhi, Jnanam, Asammohaha, Shama, Satyam, Damaha, Shamaha. All these are qualities of the mind. So all this is being enumerated. So this is the Antara Prapancha, internal world, and then Bahya Prapancha. Okay, let's see. Buddhihi, intellect, jnanam, knowledge, asammohaha, non-delusion. Sammoham means delusion. Asammohaha, non-delusion. Kshamaha, not shama. Kshamaha means patience. Um, Satyam, truth. Dhamaha is sense control. Shamaha is calmness. So look all those words. Kshama, shamaha. So shama means calmness. Shama, shantihi. Then Sukham, happiness, Dukkham, sorrow. Bhava is birth. Bhavanti means birth. Um, Abhavaha means death. Bhayam, fear. Abhayam, fearlessness. The list goes on. Ahimsa, non-violence. Samata, samatvam, equanimity. Tushtihi, contentment. Tapaha, austerity. Dhanam, um, dhanam means giving things. I missed it here. Dhanam means donation or charity. Yashaha, yashaha means fame. Ayashaha means ill fame. Bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva pritakvida. All these bhutanam means of all the living beings. Bhavaha, these different types of qualities of living beings. Matta eva pritakvida. Pritak means different. Pritakvida means different types. Matta eva bhavaha, arise from me alone. Bhavanti bhutana. So these are all the various inner conditions or the dispositions of living beings. He's just given a few mental dispositions of living beings, just to make it ornate. All these come from me alone, he says. So, summary of shlokas 4 and 5. Ishvara is consciousness plus matter. Universe is also consciousness plus matter, because what is the universe? It is the manifestation of Ishvara. And this is the Madhyama level Bhakta, one who's going beyond Shiva, Vishnu, and seeing the universe itself as Ishvara. And For the sake of convenience, the universe is divided into Bahya Prapancha, external universe of objects, and Antara Prapancha, internal universe of thoughts and emotions. Antara Prapancha, internal universe, is enumerated in 4 and 5. Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvaro Manavasthatha Madhava Manasa Jata Yesham Loka Imah Prajaha. The 7 great rishis, Sapta Maharshis, the 7 great rishis, Chatvaro Manavastata, the 4 rishis of long ago, and Chatvaro Manavaha means the 14, the Manus who possess my nature, Madbhava, who possess my nature, whose progeny are the people in the world, are born of my mind. Madbhava Manasa Jata means from Manas means it's mind. You can say it's a heart, but it literally means Manam means mind. Manasa Jata means born of my mind. Esham Loka Ima Praja, and whose progeny, Esham Loka, these people in the world, Ima Praja are the progeny. Praja means progeny of these 14 Manus and these rishis. So now Bhagavan is explaining creation. Now and then Bhagavan touches upon creation. We've seen that in the 3rd, 4th, 8th chapter. In the 3rd chapter also, Sahayajna Praja Srishtva Urovacha Prajapatihi Anena Prasavishyatvam Yeshavostvishta Kamadukha. The beginning, Sahayajna, Bhagavan created along with the people. He together created the yajna. Remember that shloka? Yajna is so important. With this, may you propitiate each other and multiply. Yajna is to live in harmony with the nature. You are offering to the deities of nature and you get back rain, all those things. So every time Bhagavan talks about creation, the creation of the external world is being talked about. And before all the regular human beings came, first the Lord created the Sapta Rishis as well as the Sanakadi Rishis. And thereafter only came all the human beings. And 14 Manus will come and go in Brahmaji's daytime. So he doesn't say that, but he just says Chatwari is 4. The 4 Purve Chatvaraha means the 4 previous rishis of long ago. And Manavastata, so he just says Manus, or the 14, there are 14 Manus in Brahmaji's one waking day. From creation to Pralayam, there are 14 Manus will come, appear and disappear. Now, for those who are interested in etymology, why are we are called Manavaha, Manushya? We are called Manushya because we are descended from Manu. The word man, English word man, also has the same root, Manu. So, and what is the meaning of Manu? Manute, Swamiji says, Manute chintayati iti manuhu. The thinking human being is called man. Manute chintayati, using the mind, one that rationalizes, is called man, Manuhu. So man is derived from the root to think, Manute. Okay, so that is why it's given that name. Okay, so in the Hindu mythology, there were multiple Manus, including the son of Brahma, the son of Vivasvat. So the first one is the Swayambhuva Manu, first of the 14 Manus. Manu was the mind-born son of Brahma, the creator of the universe. He was married to Shatarupa, the first woman, and they had 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, Prasuti. Then Vivasvata Manu, son of Vivasvat. This is what comes in the 4th chapter. Aham Vivasvate Prokta Vivaswan Manave, and all this, the entire lineage comes. Son of Vivasvat, also known as Surya, the sun god, and his wife Saranyu, he was forewarned of the divine flood by the Matsya avatar of Vishnu and saved humanity by building a boat to carry his family and the Saptarishis to safety. So in the day of Brahmaji, there are 14 Manus, 1000 Chatur Yugas, 4.32 billion human years is a day of Brahmaji. In that time, there are 14 Manus who come and go. And night is also 1000 Chatur Yugas. So creation and then Pralayam. I shouldn't use say destruction, dissolution. You've seen that in the 8th chapter, if you remember. So Sapta Rishis, the 7 great rishis, Atri, Bhrigu, Kutsa, Vasishta, Gautama, Kashyapa, Angirasa. Then the 4 ancient rishis, Sanakadi Munayaha, Sanaka, Sanatanaha, Sanat Kumaraha, Sanat Sujataha. So 7 great rishis in the Pravritti Marga or the Grihatstha. Why are these people called the ancient rishis? So Bhagavan uses the term Chatvaro, Purve Chatvaraha. That is the ancient rishi. Purva means a long time ago. So what happened? So initially Brahma created these 4 rishis. They are in the Nivritti Marga, means sannyasi path. Brahmaji created these 4 rishis initially. 4 rishis he thought would be good enough for creation. So he created 4 rishis, hoped these rishis will get married, somebody, and they will have children, all that. But what did these 4 do? They become straight away brahmacharis. They became sannyasis. So Brahmaji was very, very angry. So all his plans of creation got failed. Brahmaji got very angry from his eye. When he got angry from his eyebrows, Ekadasha, 11 Rudras came out because of his anger. That is why they are called Rudra. Rudra means how angry. Because these 4 rishis, they took to Nivritti Marga. Nivritti Marga means the brahmachari. They don't want any more procreation. Any procreation. Brahmaji had to create another 7 rishis. That's why these are called ancient rishis. After that only Brahmaji created the 7 rishis, and these people had a lot of children. Okay. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo veti tattvataha so vikampena yogena yujyate natra samshayaha. One who knows in essence this glory and yogic power of mind, that person is endowed with unshaken knowledge. Of this, there is no doubt. So, look at the words that are used here. Etam vibhutim, the glory, yogam. So, it's basically the yogic power. Yo veti, one who knows this glory and the power of mind. Sa avikampena yogena yuchate natra samshaya. There is no doubt in this. That person is endowed with unshakable knowledge. So Bhagavan talks about 2 concepts here. The power of manifestation, it is called yoga, yoga shakti, which is the manifested power. And the unmanifested or the potential power is called maya. So the potential power is dormant. And when it's manifested, it becomes yoga shakti, the power, like kinetic and potential energy. Is it clear, everybody? Ravi, is it clear? The potential and the kinetic energy. So, introduction to Yoga Maya. The latent power is Maya Shakti or Yoga Shakti. The manifested power is called Vibhutihi. So when the yoga is manifested, it becomes a glory. Now, Bhagavan talks about Vishwarupa Bhaktaha, description of the devotee who worships Ishvara as the multifarious forms in the universe. 8 through 11, 4 shlokas. Aham sarpasya prabhavah matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. I am the origin of everything. Matta sarvam pravartate. From me, everything evolves. Iti matva bhajante mam. Having those known thus, those endowed with wisdom in their nature, worship me. Iti matva bhajante mam. Who worships? Buddha bhava samanvita. Those who have wisdom in their nature. Samanvita means endowed with. Bhava means nature. Buddha bhava means those who have wisdom in their nature, those who are endowed with wisdom in their nature. Okay? Is it clear? Buddha bhava samanvita means those endowed with wisdom in their nature. So in the previous verse, Ishvara Swarupam topic is over. It started in the fourth and ended with the seventh verse. Now from the eighth onwards, Lord Krishna talks about Aneka Rupa Ishvara Bhakta or Vishwarupa Ishvara Bhakta. Those devotees who are in the intermediate level, intermediate between what and what? The lowest level is the Lord has only one, there's only one form, Ishta Devata Swarupa. And the highest level, God does not have any form. That is Arupa Swarupam. And in between is the Aneka Rupa or the Vishwarupa Ishvaraha. Is it clear? So the three levels. And Swamiji here says, later in this 11th chapter, Krishna gives Arjuna divine eyes to see the cosmic form. Otherwise, it's just objects, all these meteors floating around. But when you get the cosmic form, you know how it has evolved. So that's why when people go and look at the outer space, all the doubts of existence of a creator has gone away, one astronaut said. It's so divine, apparently. So what it means is that it needs a sensitive mind to see the creation. Arjuna does not have the sensitive mind. So in the 11th chapter, Dharamite Divyam Chakshuhu, I'll give you divine eyes by which you will see the connection. Otherwise, the mind is dull. You can't see by looking at the cosmos when you're walking in the space. You can't see divinity unless you have the divine eyes. Machitta matgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam dushyanti cha ramanti cha. Machittaha matgata prana. Prana is the entire life. Machittaha, with their minds fixed on me. Mat gataha prana, with their lives totally. Gati means destination. With their prana, their entire life force totally absorbed or totally distant for to me. Bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam. Bodhayanta parasparam means it's fixed on me. Katayantaha means speaking of me. They are Mam, Kathayantascha Mam, speaking of me, Nityam, ever, Tushyanti, content, Ramanti, they are delighted. Ramanti means delighted. So Krishna is going to say in the next shloka, what happens to such a devotee? So, with their minds fixed on me, with their lives absorbed in me and speaking of me, they are ever content and delighted. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami bhutti yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To them, the ever steadfast, who worship me filled with love, I give them the yoga of discrimination by which they reach me. This is a very important shloka. So, because there's a lot that is said here. What is look very carefully. When you have bhakti, Bhagavan gives discrimination. Remember the two paths: elementary school, high school, karma yoga, jnana yoga. One has to go through both. Without preparation, you can't. So bhakti gives yoga of discrimination. With that, your mind becomes sharp, and it's more conducive for jnana yoga. That's what Bhagavan is saying. A Virat Bhakta is one who has understood that I am like a wave and the Lord Bhagavan is like the ocean. There is all other human beings are like waves. So we may have several relationships with many waves. They're all sacred, nothing wrong. But more profound is the relationship of the wave with the ocean. And therefore, much more universal is my relationship with Bhagavan. The human relationships, maximum, they last one lifetime. But the relationship with Bhagavan is permanent. It does not mean we have to discard human relationship, but what scripture says, human relationship should not be at the cost of relationship with Bhagavan. Therefore, Virat Bhakta is called Satata Yuktaha. A very profound and significant word, Swamiji says. Satata Yukta means one who never forgets relationship with Bhagavan. Satatam, always. Yukta, yoked. Yukta means yoked. This always remembers the relationship with Bhagavan. Before Krishna tells, I will take them from Aneka Rupa Ishvara to Arupa Ishvara Bhakti. I will give them the yoga of discrimination by which they go to the highest level. From only then there is graduation. What is graduation? Moksha. And how to arrive at the Nirguna Brahman? Only by one method, that is Jnana Yoga. Very clearly says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam. It's only through Buddhi, Jnanam, that that one can go to liberation. So, three types of bhaktas we saw. Wave-wave relationship is incidental. Wave-ocean relationship is fundamental. It is known only through Jnana Yoga. Bhagavan addresses, then Bhagavan says how he's going to address this. Okay, in the 11th shloka. So, which we will take up in the next class, and we will stop the recording here and do the chant.